everybody! Welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, my homestead in the desert. The birds are doing their little fly in unison thing there. That's a different type of bird. I'm not sure what they are. They run around the ground like little baby chickadees or something. Huh. Strange. Anyway, Skyriders are way on the other side of the mountain. Nothing up here, as you can see. Just beautiful. Go figure. Yesterday, windy and cold, nasty out. Today, calm. You see the turbine's not moving over there. Calm and not really warm, but not cold either. I think it's mid-50s, which isn't bad. I kind of lazied out a little bit today, just taking care of the dogs and that stuff. So anyway, I do have something I've been forgetting to do for the last couple of videos, and that is to ask, all right, which one of you are responsible? Somebody sent me a package of soup mixes, and there was no return address or name, or I didn't get any advance warning that it was on the way. It was just there when I got to the post office. So would somebody please own up to that so I know who to say thank you to? Or just accept the thank you and you don't have to say anything if you don't want to. Maybe that's why you didn't put a name on it, right? All right, well, whatever. I do appreciate it. I put it in my pantry, and I will get to that down the line. I'm not going to have it right now because it looks like it'll make a lot more soup than I'm going to be able to eat. So when I've got somebody visiting, I'll make up a big pot of that and go from there. But anyway, thank you very much. But you need to let me know when you're doing stuff like that so I know to look for it. I was sitting in my post office for a couple of days. All right. So in here, I got my Harbor Freight inverter because I'm going to have to open that up and see what went wrong. I know the fan went out on it first, and then something else happened, and I was showing it to the neighbor who I'm going to be setting up with solar, and wouldn't you know it, I says, yeah, look, I got AC power here in the van. And I turned it on, and I showed him the fan was running and showed him the refrigerator was running. And I went around the back doors to show him how I could run a power tool off of the power in the back of the van. And all of a sudden, everything shut down. So I determined it was the Harbor Freight inverter, and I have a spare. I had two of those, so I switched it out, and now I've got this one in here to work on it and see what's going on with it. And the other one is working fine in the van, so there we go. That was it. But the fan isn't burnt out on the one I've got in there now. But it is a modified sine wave, and it is an old system, so it does have quite a bit, uses quite a bit of power just to run the inverter. And it's listed as a 2,000 to 4,000. Of course, we all know how that stuff goes when it comes from the other side of the world. And yeah, I've learned over the years that stuff doesn't work out the way they say it will. So anyway, I will be changing out my final lead acids. If it's a nice day tomorrow, I may do it then, because that's when that neighbor is going to come over and see my system and see how I've got mine set up. And I could be working on my system while he's here, and I can show him what's going on. And get switched out from the lead acid to, instead of having 3 lead acids in there, I'll have 1 LiFePO4. So I did look on the WattCycle website today, and I noticed that they've got the 300 amp hour, 12 volt, 300 amp hour battery on sale. And I think they're going to be doing a Christmas special on that. So I did put a notice to my contact, Jennifer, and asked her if there's anything coming up, because I will recommend that this neighbor that I'm going to be setting up buys his batteries from WattCycle. And the 300 amp hour batteries, even if he only got 4 of those at 12 volt and hook those up in series to make a 48 volt battery and 300 amp hours, and that would still come out to almost $300 cheaper than buying the batteries in 24 volt or 48 volt. And a 48 volt battery would only give him 100 amp hour unless he wanted to get really expensive. And when you get the 48 volt 200 amp hour and 300 amp hour and up batteries, they get really expensive. Why pay $3,000 or $4,000 for one battery when you can get these WattCycles, which I found are very reliable, very well built, and they'll do the job, right? That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. And don't you try to change me. All right. So I think I'm going to close things up here and go inside. And I was going to make shepherd's pie tonight, and then realized I didn't have my favorite filler for the shepherd's pie, and that would be corn. I could do it with green peas, but that's not the way I like it. I like it with the corn. And I'll just wait until tomorrow. I'll be going to check mail anyway, and I'll just pick up a can of corn there at the little local market. Of course, I'm going to pay about 10 or 15 cents more for that can than I would if I went all the way into town. But then again, I wouldn't be using 4 gallons of gas to go get a can of corn, right? So you gotta look at things like that when you're off grid. Sometimes paying a little bit more at a little local mom and pop shop, even paying double the price, is still cheaper than the fuel it's going to cost you to go 14 miles in each direction to go to a store, a supermarket, right? Anyway, there's your tip for the day on off-grid living. So, if my neighbor John is watching, or Letty, you remember this is your old well pump that quit on you. And I finally started taking it apart to see what was going on. And this is just the pump part. The motor I've already removed. But the motor was connected up on the top here. But the one thing that I did notice is water had gotten inside. The seals gave out on it. And water had gotten into the electronics, and that's why it shorted out the pump. That's why it wasn't running. So just to satisfy your curiosity as to why your pump quit, that was it. All right, everybody. I want to thank you all for joining me. It's starting to cool down here now, so I'm going to call it a day. It's a day. I hate that joke. And I'm going to head indoors. Oh, it looks like the Sky Riders are going to be heading this way now. Yeah, can't leave us alone. I swear they're listening to me, and every time I say something, they get on the radio and say, "Hey, he's at it again, go get him." All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. This is G Bear, signing off.